live. Oh, that's no, that's fine because it'll share on Facebook
down?
from Twitter. Yeah, so they haven't managed to break that yet. Hi, welcome to the WAN show, where we just carry on whatever internal.
Where we WAN away with our conversation.
Yeah, as long as there's no, it's all about positivity though. No whining.
Oh my goodness, there's music!
I don't know what sound is coming out of my lap. Oh, right, it's a Twitch ad.
Twitch ad.
Thanks, Twitch.
Hooray.
Alright, so we've got a bunch of great topics for you today. Actually, we have a handful of really great topics for you guys today. Cars were hacked. Well, one car was hacked, but it was done wirelessly, which is the big concern. Pro gamers, are they using drugs?
Yes. A license to kill. Drones. Also, Toshiba lied about an insane amount of money.
Yeah, like this much money.
Yeah. Actually, a lot more than that.
Actually, yes. Well, no, depends on which movie.
Oh.
Yes. Intro time. iFixit!
Yay!
Phantom Glass!
The best damn screen protectors out there.
Thanks, Batman.
Yeah. No problem.
Christian Bale as Batman endorses Phantom Glass.
Which,
Because it's like Phantom?
right.
Because he's like...
Which is actually more of a
Phantom.
Star Wars thing than a Batman thing. Because that's really funny. He has my wife in his phone with my last name. She actually never changed her last name. So I'm just gonna, you know what I won't do is jump right into like our big topic for today, which is that hackers managed to gain a fair amount of control over a vehicle while it was being operated by a person. And I'm going to go ahead and jump into one of the slightly smaller ones. So this one is from nakedsecurity.com. I'm going to go ahead and drop
That's my
the link
favorite
in the
website.
Twitch
Other
chat.
than linustechtips.com and linusmedia.com and youtube.com/linustechtips and iFixit.com and Phantom Glass.
What the heck? Not now. Alright, so this one is, the headline here is Right to Destroy... Or right to kill drones. At least that's our headline for it. So here it is. Naked Security. Dreams of legally slapping drones out of the sky may come true. Which I guess Luke is going to take over because now there's a handful of people waiting for me outside the room. I'll be right back.
This is easily the best coordinated, least problematic WAN show we've ever had. I don't think... not having a phone call in the middle of it from one of the owners of the company would have been any better, and I don't think that having Linus leave partway through would have made it any better either. I think this is literally the perfect state that it could have been in. I just wanted to clarify that. I'm getting another phone call. This is fantastic. The more phone calls that I get, the better off the show's actually going to be. I just wanted to point that out there. Anyways, moving on to dreams of legally slapping drones out of the air. I guess Linus has it on screen. Can I scroll down at all? Yes. I'm going to put text there so that it's literally impossible to get anything from it. Is there any other screenshots? No. We're going to go back up to the drone. So I am not very up to date on this topic, but I do know that a few times in a few different areas, people haven't been able to put out fires due to drones being in the way. Helicopters have had to be grounded because the drones are getting too close to them and they're worried about the helicopter crashing. And it's just generally kind of a terrible idea. Now, speaking of terrible ideas, one of the ways that they're planning to combat this is by they would disable the drones using jamming technology, which would end up blocking Wi-Fi and GPS signals to drones, making them ultimately crash. The problem with this is that it would also block calls and messages to mobile devices, meaning if they're going to do this in dangerous zones, they would be blocking people from using their cell phones, which is terrible. That's actually a terrible, terrible idea. So to avoid having drones being in the area. They're blocking the usage of cell phones. So if you're in the dangerous area, you won't be able to contact anyone that's outside of the dangerous area. It just seems like a really stupid idea. They need a better way to take down the drones.
I like those. I liked that drone that deploys a net over other drones.
Yes, the hunter drone thing?
Yeah, the hunter drone. That was absolutely
I was
sick.
kind of thinking like mount something on the helicopter that has like a net.
An anti-drone gun or something. You know what? I kind of have to pee. Maybe I'll just come join the show in a minute.
Right, yeah. Another thing that I was thinking of is like if you have a really skilled helicopter pilot, just try to get him to squat on top of the drone all of a sudden. So like come over, hover above it. Also, the blades on the helicopter must throw drones like crazy, unless I guess you have a really, really expensive one. Anyways, I'm worried about the legal response that they're trying to imply here, because I'm scared of cell phone blocking. Not because I'm scared of the drones falling. I don't give a crap about the drones at all. Destroy them all you want. I do worry a little bit about blocking emergency communication because you want to take down a drone. I think there's got to be some better way to do that. There's a quote from Assemblyman Gatto in California. He says, just because you have access to an expensive toy that can fly in a dangerous area doesn't mean you should do it. Cool. I'm sure a lot of the people flying these drones probably didn't realize the negative implications of flying it in the first place. Now they probably know. That doesn't mean they're going to stop doing it. I'm sure a lot of these people are trying to sell footage to the news, so they'll do it for whatever reason. They don't care if they can get money. So putting in some form of law and having a right to destroy the drones is great. I just don't know if blocking all of the GPS and Wi-Fi communication is a good idea.
Nerf cannons.
Send out another helicopter with your rescue helicopter that's just like dudes with like Nerf turrets and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think Nerf would really do it though.
Yeah, no, probably
Like,
not. Some of the like, if we were talking like AR drones, then probably. But if we're talking like the 3DR Solo that we just checked out, that thing is pretty robust. Like I can imagine having to hit it with like, you know, a 5-pound projectile at least to really make an impact, unless you manage to hit a propeller or something. It's pretty robust. So yeah, I don't have the solution. It's fairly clear that jamming signals is not it. But with that said, if the intention is to jam signals, you know, kind of EMP bomb style, you know, for 10 seconds or 20 seconds.
Really need
to take the drone out of the sky, then
I don't think that's what the plan is, but I can't actually say because I would assume that it wouldn't be used as a weapon. I would assume that it would be used as a passive thing.
Right, where you just have jamming on. Well, no, because they're jamming GPS too. And I'm sure a rescue helicopter is going to want its own GPS working. It's not like there's GPS pixie dust that makes... If you're jamming GPS, then...
Yeah, I think it's mostly for fighting fires, so if you can't find it...
Time to just pack her up and go home.
But, you're right. You're totally right. I don't know.
Alright, so let's get into one of our other... This is just, I don't know, this is just kind of funny if you don't...
And if it was an EMP, the helicopter would very possibly go down.
Yeah, no, I don't mean EMP. I just mean like...
In a blast.
Like, yeah,
so turn on the jammer for 10 seconds, turn it off.
Yeah.
Because jammers are just...
Exactly. Like,
turn them
you can buy jammers. You shouldn't. They're illegal. Yeah, but
you'll get in trouble if you do so.
Yeah, well, you'll get in trouble if you use it. I think in Canada... I looked into it. In Canada, I believe they are illegal to import, illegal to own, illegal to operate. But I believe there are places where they're legal to import and own, but not legal to operate. Like, almost nowhere are they legal to operate. They basically shouldn't exist, but...
They're pretty easy to make.
Yeah, and there's ones that... and they're inexpensive. There's ones that are kind of... Like, you could shut down everything within kind of a movie theater type radius sort of thing. So if it's like... Or like on a bus that you're traveling on. So it's like I was looking at it as more of like a prank thing. Like I was like, I should get like a super low powered one. So if I'm sitting next to my sister or something, this is when I was younger, right? Be like, you know, like the classic, extra TV remote behind your parents, like that kind of thing. But it's pretty serious business if you get caught using them. So I really wouldn't recommend
Someone in the
having
chat was saying that they should just combat... Whoa, that looks sketch. They should just combat the drones by having deployable, maybe extendable fire poles on the helicopters. And they just whack them.
like a giant fly swatter.
Yeah.
Or hold on a second. What if they had a silly string cannon? Industrial grade silly string.
So rope?
Yeah. Well, that's boring when you say it like that. This is less fun. But yes, essentially rope. Thank you.
So the net?
Right. So we're all the way back to the net. So Toshiba's CEO has resigned over $1.2 billion accounting scandal.
Oh my God. Over 7 years. It wasn't like all of a sudden in one deal they magically made a fake $1.2 billion.
Can that ad not be blocked? Are you kidding me? All right, there we go. Sorry about that, you guys. So 8 board members, including vice chairman, have resigned their posts as part of a major management reshuffle. Their current chairman was named interim president, and this is one of this is funny. So year-end dividends and postponed earnings have been canceled. So there will be no dividends, unfortunately.
On the fake money.
Yeah, Toshiba's stock has dropped around 20% since early April when the accounting issues first came to light. Here's what I'm kind of curious about. Why did anyone actually believe that Toshiba was making money? What do they even do?
They sell some laptops, not that many of them.
I do know that.
And they bought a company.
Right. But do they even still make TVs?
I don't know. I have one of theirs and I like it.
There you go. Toshiba Canada, 3D TV, LED TV. Okay. Let's go to Toshiba's website. I'm just curious. What do they actually do? I mean, when's the last time you saw a Toshiba tablet? I remember back when the first round of decent Android tablets were rolling out, back in the Tegra 2 days. So you had the Motorola Zoom, you had the Asus Transformer, TF101 or whatever that thing was. You had the Samsung one that we actually still have deployed to this day, the Galaxy Tab 10.1. And then Toshiba had one that was just awful. Toshiba, I want to say Thrive? Toshiba Thrive. Tablet, 10.1, 8 gig. Yeah, that was it. It had that massive bezel.
I was just going to say, that's a huge bezel.
Yeah, and it was super thick and just generally
Maybe it thrives off of a little bit too much food.
Yeah, it was just kind of stupid compared to everything else. So let's look at all this stuff. So here, you know what? We got to straw poll this. Have you bought anything from Toshiba in the last year?
Nice.
Yeah.
No.
Me neither.
So we have 2 no's. Good start.
Okay.
Toshiba.
Oh wow, there's a whoa.
Yeah, this is the new
straw poll's been updated. We can make you guys do a CAPTCHA before answering if we didn't want to get any responses to our straw polls.
I love how everyone is answering in the Twitch chat.
Guys, we don't look at it. Except when we do.
Nope.
It's yes, that is how people do polls. It's if I wanted to conduct a national survey, I would just have an open phone line that people just call in and say their answers, and then I wouldn't write it down. I would just sit there and I'd kind of go, oh yeah, it really seems 22%. So laptops, desktops, tablets, computer accessories, I gotta know what computer accessories. Oh, I think I'm on the support site, so this might not even all be current stuff. All right, Toshiba.ca/sorry. Okay, yeah. We're sorry. Toshiba accessories blowout. They make UPSs apparently. Okay. Office products. Large large multifunctions. telecom stuff, bags, monitors, portable storage. Okay, so like rebranding stuff.
A lot of this is going to be rebranding stuff.
Okay, they make industrial stuff like point of sale, this and that, and barcode printers, UPSs, surveillance systems, medical, MRI systems.
Oh, wow, okay.
Okay, so
X-ray.
Involved in that kind of stuff. Digital signage. So very, very industrial oriented, but of course that relies on winning bids, and whereas consumer can be more run rate business. So having a look at how the results are looking, wow, a mere 11% of you have bought anything from Toshiba in the last year. Speaking of turnips, by the way, the Vote for Turnip shirt, I think this is the last day. Oh my gosh, I haven't ordered one yet. Okay, I need to get my order going here. So,
3 hours.
3 hours left, so I'm gonna have like an hour after WAN show, an hour and a half after WAN show to deal with this. All right.
Vote for Pedro.
Yeah, what's our next topic? Okay, doping in esports. Before
we move forward, check here.
Oh,
was it touchscreen?
What's this? Blah blah blah. Oh yeah, I just did that. Yep,
Wait,
all
what?
good.
No.
What's this?
That?
Oh, I see. So where are we going to? What's going on? What's going on?
Doping in esports.
Doping in esports. All right. Did you copy that into the Twitch chat?
I'm working on it.
All right. I'm gonna bring up the. I closed the WAN show doc. I have no idea what's going on today. So, I guess there's two different sort of major questions here. Number one is, I guess there's one major question here. Who didn't know about this?
Yeah.
Why are we pretending that this is some kind of surprise?
Oh my god, we need to work with drug agencies and stuff to drug test people for things that literally everyone's doing and we all knew was happening. Like the ESL guys, I'm sure they knew.
Of course they did. I knew. I don't even follow esports. And I've been aware of this for literally years.
Little LAN tournaments that I used to go to, people would do it there.
Yeah. It's not like there weren't guys with Ritalin at LAN tournaments, and I'm not saying that no one is legitimately on Ritalin. Believe it or not, I've got a bit of a, bombastic personality.
I think that's not too hard to pick up on there.
At one point or another, I might have been on Ritalin with a prescription. It did mellow me out, by the way, but, I lost some of my energy, which I think is sort of how it works. Improved my focus, though, that's for sure. So, I guess I just... What is the controversy here? I guess the controversy, they've known enough to have it in their regulations that you're not allowed to use performance-enhancing drugs, and they've also known enough to not build in any kinds of penalties for using them. Because if they penalize players for using performance-enhancing drugs, they know that it's going to be Major League Baseball all over again, because everyone's roiding, so to speak, even though they're not roiding, because you don't actually need a huge arm to operate a, what is it, 63 grams for a final mouse?
I think Pasha Biceps would disagree with
well,
me. Basha.
Okay, I specifically brought up the final mouse for that reason. You got a heavier mouse, you got a G502, you got a wireless mouse with some AA batteries in there, then you probably shouldn't be professionally gaming on a wireless mouse, but that's a whole other conversation. The point is that this is just kind of hilarious. So there's a former Cloud9 player, Corey Sempfis Friesen, who said in an interview, quote, "I don't even care. We were all on Adderall." And this is great. So the interviewer then interjects with, "Everyone does Adderall at ESL1, right?" To which he replies in the affirmative. And then what an awkward moment that is, because I gotta give Friesen credit here. because this is totally not the way this story plays out. Usually, we're talking years or decades of denial and lengthy legal processes to prove that, you know, someone was doping. Instead, we're taking the honest path here. It's like, and this is again part of the reason why I am confused as to why anyone thinks that this was a secret, because it's not like in an interview it would be unusual to handle the question this way, but in casual conversation it's not a secret. So I guess I don't really know what else to say. I mean, what are they doing? What's the action plan here?
I think there's some plans to bring in certain drug agencies. Like, let's see here. We're taking the steps to level with, that's a weird sentence, to level with traditional sports, and it's going to take a while before any esports organization will administer regular drug tests. We hope to speed this process up proactively by seeking advice from authorities and starting small. Full-blown drug tests at esports events are far away, but that doesn't mean we can't and shouldn't try to tackle the issue. What is going on?
I'm just popular. I'm just basically a cool guy. Yeah, I know, right?
Got a badass over here.
So, I mean, here's a... So we want to blah,
basically,
blah, blah.
they're going to work on it. It's going to take a while. It's been happening for literally forever, and everyone knew it was happening, and they only care because it was brought to the spotlight, and a whole bunch of people were like, wow, I didn't know about this! And then that's about it.
You know, South Park did that great episode about the whole Tiger Woods cheating thing, where basically, like, every male on the planet is involved in this gigantic conspiracy where they're pretending that, you know, men with money and power they have to be like sex crazed and like diseased in the head to leverage that to, you know, mate with as many partners as they can, kind of thing. And I'm not saying that everyone with money and power is, you know, running around sleeping with tons of women or anything, or any woman might, you know, I'm just saying it's one of those basal instincts is sowing the seed. And so anyway, it's this gigantic conspiracy that no one can understand what could drive a man to do that, and they just kill anyone who, you know, lets the women onto that. Yeah. Like it's a fairly natural thing to, you know, try to create the best offspring by, you know, and lots of them and like all that kind of stuff. It's just kind of a human nature thing. This feels very, very similar in the sense that it's like the least well-kept secret on the face of the earth, and yet we're pretending that,
oh my god, this was happening. Wow, no one takes steroids in football ever. Why would you do that? I don't know.
You know what's funny? The NHL manages to keep their face pretty clean on most of that stuff. There's surprisingly little scandal in the NHL compared to football and basketball.
Yeah.
I wonder why that is.
I actually have no idea.
I legitimately don't know, because
maybe ice skates can't melt steel beams.
Because you can look at certain things about a sport, like barrier to entry. You know, regions where
there's
it's
a really
popular.
high barrier of entry for ice hockey.
But you could make a very similar argument about something like football.
I don't think even as much.
Not as much. That's true. But you know, compared to something like basketball, where literally anyone can go shoot hoops at the local basketball court, that's because there are lots of them.
But even football, like hockey, if you play like floor hockey in the street, your barrier of entry is pretty low, but it's also quite different from ice hockey. Playing football in the street with your buddies, I would even argue, is more similar to actual football.
Right, that's a fairly good argument, because
at least your like fundamental movement properties don't change.
Yeah. Whereas ice skating, even the most similar thing we have to ice skating, which I guess would be rollerblading, is really not that close.
I was a very good rollerblader and a trash ice skater. I could go really fast, but I couldn't like stop or
Happy
turn
Gilmore.
Well. Yeah.
Happy Gilmore. Yeah. Wait, yes, that is Happy Gilmore. Oh my gosh, I screwed up. I thought I had the wrong movie reference for a second. I was like, that's like one of my all-time favorite movies. How could I screw this up?
Go watch Pixels.
Pixels? What is
Do
it?
not go watch Pixels.
What's Pixels?
It's from Happy Gilmore Productions.
What is Happy
his
Gilmore
name.
Productions?
Or Happy Gilmore. Wait, what is it?
You mean Adam Sandler?
Yeah, but he has a production company.
Does he really?
It's terrible.
All these things actually happen in Adam Sandler's Pixels.
Like
This is a Kotaku article that we have
Madison
to read.
Productions.
Oh,
Happy Madison
okay.
Productions.
As you've likely heard, it's a bad movie, almost pleasingly stupid. Act 1, a young Brenner and young Cooper pedal to a new arcade called the Electric Dreams Factory. We see cabinets of Pac-Man. Brenner enters himself into the 1982 Worldwide Arcade Championship, where he loses a tie-breaking Donkey Kong title bout to Eddie Plant. Dan Aykroyd MCs the tournament and announces that footage of the games will be included on a probe that is being sent into space. Well, that's already completely incoherent.
There's amazing video reviews of this where people just tear it apart.
The president summons Brenner and Ludlow to the Oval Office, has been analyzing the alien attacks, and has invented light guns that can destroy them. Oh, okay. Sees a couple of light guns. All right, well, did you see it?
No.
No, okay.
I've just seen many a review that tears it apart. And you brought up that dude, so I thought I would just bring up to people to not go watch that movie.
Not go watch Pixels. Okay, got it. So, you know what?
People are like, spoiler alert! And a whole bunch of people in the chat were like, you can't spoil an Adam Sandler movie. That's such a good answer.
Adam Sandler is silly. Adam Sandler dicks around for an hour and 20 minutes. Adam Sandler prevails.
Yeah, basically, yes. Yeah, pretty much.
Alrighty then. You know what? I actually kind of want to straw poll the whole esports doping thing, because you know what? Sometimes we get caught up in that everyone knows this, when actually it's not that common knowledge. Esports doping.
I think everyone should.
I didn't know. I suspected, but wasn't sure, and then...
Okay, well, yeah, we suspected.
No,
Actually, no, because we saw it land.
Yeah, I literally...
But if you've never been to a land, then I guess you would suspect.
I have literally seen people who have literally told me that they literally did not have a legitimate prescription, legitimately taking... In this case, not Adderall, but it was Ritalin, so...
Yeah. I've been to
Yeah.
At one PAX that I was at in a Counter-Strike tournament that I was in. There was people taking Adderall and Ritalin and stuff, and me and my buddy weren't taking Adderall and Ritalin, but we had, like, you know those Balls Guarana energy drinks?
Mm-hmm.
Right before our match, I think we had like 4, and then there was these caffeine energy mint things. We both ate an entire pack, and I was sitting there like almost shaking.
That must have been really bad for
It was
you.
because of reasons that I didn't know about yet, which is
Right.
why I was shaking.
Right.
But we did really well. We did like super well. My performance was way higher than it normally was.
Here is a great question that I think is actually a pretty important one, because if esports is gonna pretend that we're gonna tackle performance enhancing drugs, do you think that chugging down energy drinks should be considered a performance enhancing drug? Like, should you have a tolerable level of caffeine even?
Interesting. I don't know.
Apparently, lots of people didn't know about it.
That is super definitely a. Well, this could be people that don't follow esports.
Mm-hmm.
That's another question. But caffeine's a drug. Isn't guarana also a drug?
Yeah, blah blah. I can't remember.
I don't
think
know.
It has an active ingredient or
Right.
something.
But caffeine is.
Should excess caffeine be a performance enhancing drug? Yes, no.
That's a lot to test for.
Yeah,
Can you
and
easily test for how much caffeine is in someone's
I
system?
actually don't know, and it would be completely unprecedented, because I think in most like professional athlete type scenarios, you could make the argument that caffeine wouldn't necessarily be a performance enhancer, strictly speaking. Whereas in a LAN event, depending on how late it is, how long you've been up and all that kind of stuff, it could have a huge impact. I actually I don't even know, like something like Le Mans. Are they allowed to chug energy drinks?
That's super interesting.
Or are they expected to do it naturally? Blah 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 blah. You know what? Let us know. The greatest endurance race has its own brand of energy drink. It is a special drink for drivers and helps them stay focused. Contains caffeine, ginseng extract, and vitamin B. But it doesn't actually say whether they're allowed to consume them or not.
I assume if they have an official one that they can,
but I don't know. Very, very interesting. Thing is, esports events organizers limit the drugs. Blah blah blah. It will be super stupid if you were on a cool drug that made you DQ'd for being sick. It's a blah blah blah. Can do blah 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 blah. You can't ban caffeine. So there you go.
There's also like tolerance levels for caffeine is a huge thing too, isn't it?
And I mean, a lot of people are bringing up that lots of esports teams are sponsored by energy drinks.
Oh yeah.
I mean, energy drinks and gaming, they go together like, peas and carrots, my friends.
Orange and black.
Orange and black. No, I think orange replaced black. So if energy drinks...
Oh, orange is the...
If energy drinks became gamers and played games...
See, I was doing it because of the LTT colors.
Oh, I see.
Not because of Netflix shows.
Okay. So we've got 50% of you saying no, but actually a surprising 30% of you saying yes. Excess caffeine should be considered a performance-enhancing or enhancing drug, is apparently what I wrote. I could probably use some caffeine.
And you can ban things from events that aren't controlled substances. Someone in the chat was like, you can't ban caffeine from the event. It's not a controlled substance. You totally
could.
Yeah,
for sure you can. Absolutely
it's a sport. You could ban the wrong type of shoes.
You can ban alcohol. Well, I guess that's technically a controlled substance. But the point is, you can ban whatever you want. You can
ban people from wearing a specific type of t-shirt.
I'm not... I went and played badminton at a local, like a country club. Like, it was actually...
Do you have to have the right type of shoes so you didn't mark up the floor?
No. Oh, the story's better than that. Okay, so... No, any badminton center won't let you in the front door with black-soled shoes. Yeah. Even if they're non-marking. Yeah. No way. Clear soles or get out. Yeah. Because, those mats are, I think, 10 grand each. So you run around putting marks on them. Get out. So I had never been to one of those types of places. Have you ever?
To a country club?
Yeah, like that style of establishment.
For golfing once.
Okay, so
I didn't get to go inside.
Right, exactly.
I specifically stayed outside.
So I was allowed inside. We were kind of snuck in. So it's kind of a long story, but I know someone who knows someone who got grandfathered into a membership here, even though the sister club that they were a member of that got them grandfathered in is much less expensive. This one is apparently like tens of thousands of dollars to buy your initial membership plus your annual fee. Like ballin'!
Things I would never do.
So anyway, I came to play badminton on their completely empty, and the floors were amazing. There's gym floors, which kind of suck because the grip isn't great and the impact is very heavy. It's kind of harder on your knees. Then there's the rubber floors, which have kind of a padding. Those are the green ones that you've seen.
Yeah, okay.
And that's actually what they play on professionally. And then there's really good gym floors. So really good gym floors actually have spring to them. Some people don't know this, but you can design a gym floor so that it actually has a suspension system basically to it, and that's where you get the cushion that you would normally get with foam, but you also get the smoothness and the impact of a wooden floor, and if it's well finished, it's gorgeous. So it was great to play on. Anyway, we didn't realize until, or our guest, or our host who allowed us in, didn't realize until we showed up that he had forgotten to tell us that it's white clothes only.
Oh my god.
So I was actually in one of and the funny thing about professional badminton is you go and you look up the greatest badminton player of all time, arguably, definitely in the world right now, and every picture of the guy, he's wearing red and gold for the Team China. It's not a thing in professional badminton. This is just a snooty, here's our house rules thing. So I guess I don't really remember where I was going with this. The point is that you can have whatever rules you want with respect to attire and substances and anything, and that's basically it. I've got people bringing up Serena Williams.
It's not even the right sport.
Yeah. I mean, she does hold a racket.
And didn't she get wrecked by some dude who was like ranked 200 or something?
Yeah, but like, come on. I think that was the...
You're saying best in the world. This is an open bracket. The guys count.
Okay. Yes, you could say that. Fun fact about badminton is it's the only Olympic sport where men and women compete on the same field at the same time against each other.
That's cool.
Yeah. Interesting, hey?
Yeah.
Okay, so why don't we move on? What do we got here? Let's do a rapid fire topic. This is interesting. So iOS 8 is at 85% adoption.
Yeah.
Google is relatively quiet about Lollipop over there. So let's go ahead and post... Oh, I posted the wrong one in the Twitch chat.
Trash pop.
Yeah, Lollipop. You know, I'm really worried about the Droid Turbo because I got Lollipop 5.1 like a week and a half ago.
Okay.
So the odds that I'm going to get M&M or marzipan or marshmallow or whatever it is they're calling it, the odds that I'm going to get that ever, I consider to be fairly low. And I don't know, I think it's some app that I'm using that got an update recently or something, but Droid Turbo, I'm like barely making it through a day right now on Lollipop.
Whoa.
I only used it for like one day, so maybe it was a really, heavy flow day, so to speak.
So I'm at 5.0.2, and this thing, like, the only reason why I like this phone is, one, because it's waterproof, which is cool, and two, because it just lasts forever.
Right.
Like, I very rarely charge my phone 2-3 times a week tops, and it just survives the whole time.
Yeah, so I'm having trouble, but anyway, that's there's a lot of other issues with Lollipop. I absolutely hate.
That's not a Droid Turbo.
No, I'm not using Droid Turbo right now. It's S6 Active. I hate the way that Lollipop piles up your like notifications as just little icons instead of just letting you scroll through them. Who thought it was a good idea to make one touch? Wait for an animation, and then scroll through your notifications.
But
a good idea.
It's like you're using a desk.
Who thought that was a good idea?
Because it feels like you're moving papers on a desk.
Because I get a lot of notifications. People are always giving me crap in my phone reviews about like, you've got so many like things in your things. I'm like, you know what? I never clear them because there's literally no point. It will fill up in like 20 minutes.
Oh, I just got 500 Instagram notifications? Okay.
Yay!
But then you still need notifications on because it'll tell you when certain people do something.
So Apple has managed to get 85% of their active users on iOS 8, 13% are running iOS 7, and a mere 2% are running an earlier version of iOS. I mean, part of this is you could probably make the argument that Apple does an okay job of planned obsolescence through degraded performance. Like my iPhone 4 runs way worse than it used to.
There's other reasons why it might run way worse. Definitely the operating system, but there's also definitely other reasons.
And things have gotten more demanding. We expect more from our mobile devices, and the app developers are happy to deliver that to us, and we're just going to have to upgrade our hardware to keep up, because quite frankly, even an Android device from, 5 years ago, or like, how old of a device do you have to be stuck on iOS 6? That would be like 4 to 5 years ago. An Android device from that kind of era is going to be horrible. Like, absolutely horrible for everything.
Yeah.
So Google, it looks like their numbers, Android 5 is accounting for a mere 11.6% of devices, with 5.1 just 0.8%, with the vast majority, so that's 39.2 plus 37.4 still running KitKat and Jelly Bean. It's almost an even split there.
So it's almost
Holy cow.
80% on KitKat and Jelly Bean.
Yeah.
Not quite, but almost.
So Lollipop is a flop for whatever reason, and hopefully the next version of Android.
T-Rash?
Yeah, I don't know. I had a lot of people rubbing their Nexus phones in my face when I was running the Droid Turbo on KitKat, and I was just like, okay.
Hashtag long hair don't care.
Is that a hashtag?
I don't know.
All right, let's, speaking of things that everyone should care about, let's move into what is really our big topic of the day.
Oh, God.
Hackers have managed to remotely kill a Jeep on the highway. Original article here is from Wired.com. Let's go ahead and pull that up. It's not a very picture-heavy article here, so there's not a whole lot for me to visually show you guys, but here's the Jeep after its brakes were remotely disabled, sending it into a ditch. So we'll give you guys the whole skinny on this. I'll make my way through the very detailed summary that I think Nick has been quite hard at work on and would be upset if I didn't somewhat make my way through it. So basically it was a showcase piece done by Wired featuring hackers Charlie Miller and Chris Valasek. It's a result of some car hacking research that they've done over the last year. It's a zero-day exploit that's targeting Jeep Cherokees that give the hacker wireless control of the vehicle. And it's not full control. For example, the hacker cannot take control over steering unless the vehicle is going backwards.
Yeah.
So if you're going forward, the hacker cannot take over your steering. But there's a lot of other stuff they can do. So they're able to send commands to the 2014 Jeep's dashboard functions, steering, brakes, and transmission through its entertainment system. In this case, they were 10 miles away from the vehicle, but the exploit is not limited by distance. So they were able to mess with air conditioning, radio, windshield wipers, and then they cut the transmission. They can also kill the engine entirely at low speeds, abruptly engage the brakes, or completely disable the brakes. It can also track GPS coordinates, measure the speed of the vehicle, and drop pins behind it on a map, tracking where it is going. So this isn't the first time that Wired has done a piece with these hackers about car hacking, but it is the first time that the hack could be carried out wirelessly, which is obviously a much greater concern than if someone gains physical access to your car and, injects malware on it.
That's still freaky because your car's going to be parked in public parking lots a lot. That's still a super big problem.
Yes.
And honestly, will continue to still be a super big problem because we'll be a lot easier than wirelessly hacking a car. So we still have to super pay attention to that. But wirelessly hacking a car, especially being able to mass do it, like what if someone turned off all the brakes on every Jeep all at once? That would be bad. Yeah. That'd be terrible. They claimed that we didn't think it was that big of a deal. No one's gonna do this, right? We just make cars. We don't have to worry about it. Which is pathetic, and I'm sure someone internally told them at some point in time, and they were just like, psh, whatevs. And there's always... Oh, God. Dear. This is hilarious.
Oh, yeah, that's coming. But, yeah.
So there's problems with this, because car companies are notorious, after everyone watched Fight Club, for having their calculation where they try to decide whether or not it's worth recalling something. That's not really going to work anymore. Because with something like that, you can see it progressively happen over time. Like, okay, we had a few accidents here, we had a few accidents there. Mm-hmm. All right, we'll pull them all back so we don't have more. With this, it's going to be like, oh, there's an exploit. Oh, every Jeep is compromised.
Yeah, and that. To be clear, this is not just one vehicle. So it's this was done through Uconnect, which is hold on, let me just see. I want to get like the wording for all of this right, because it's kind of a serious topic. So that's the entertainment, nav, phone management, and Wi-Fi hotspot aspect of Chrysler and their sub-brand vehicles. And it is estimated that there are as many as 471,000 vehicles on the road with vulnerable Uconnect systems in the U.S. now. Now, it's only been fully tested on a Jeep Cherokee, but the hackers believe that they could access any car with a Uconnect head unit. Now, the big concern to me about this is not that a car got hacked, but it's that the automakers live in such a different world than the high technology companies that we generally talk about, whether it's your Googles or your Apples or your Microsofts, where they'll see something like this and, with exceptions, treat it like a big deal and act on it quickly. Car companies are used to operating on a much longer development cycle.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we're talking, it could be a half a dozen years from the first, you know, drawing on a napkin to a car with rubber tires on it that drives on the road.
Which probably looks like all the other ones.
So we're talking like best case scenario, the vehicle that you're driving today has incorporated ideas that are as old as, you know, 5, 6, or even more years ago.
Which is why, like, investigating car technology is sometimes really boring.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, they have a 7-inch tablet that's 480p.
Yay.
Okay.
And a super grainy camera.
And you have to use a dial thing to do anything because it's not touchscreen.
Yeah. So, but that's just something that we have to understand, though, is that these guys work on a very, very different cycle. Whereas security guys, you know, if you go talk to someone at, you know, ESET, for example, or you go talk to someone at MacAfee, they're going to be like, yeah, you need to be on that stuff like right away, or it's a huge problem. And so Chrysler's statement really underlines that difference in attitude to me in a terrifying way. The fact that they thought it was okay to address this way. So they stated that they appreciate Miller and Valasek's work, but under no circumstances does FCA condone or believe it's appropriate to disclose how-to information that would potentially encourage or help enable hackers to gain unauthorized and unlawful access to vehicle systems. So they don't even understand the concept of white hat at all. They think it's okay to release that statement, that they don't even understand why it's important for the code to be out there and for people to understand the exploit for it to be closed.
And they're like, oh, we didn't think they were going to release the code, so we were just like, I'm just like, okay.
They want to...
If someone found it, someone else can and will find it.
If they just want to, you know, hide in their shell of that people won't do it, so we can just ignore this, and if we just don't talk about it, then it will go away. It is not going away. Cars are getting more and more intelligent and more connected, and as cars get more and more computerized control over more and more of their features, we're talking self-driving cars in as little as what? Musk figures 5-6 years?
Yeah.
I mean, this becomes an episode of Doctor Who extremely quickly.
I've never watched Doctor Who, but I'm gonna nod my head knowingly.
Yeah, it's a great episode. The bad guys take over everyone's cars and drive them into lakes and stuff.
Oh, that's not good.
Basically, this happens.
Yeah.
So let me just see if there's anything else that we can really add.
Some of the
here.
chat said, and then they tagged me, just wait till Tesla gets hacked. It has to happen eventually. Very probably. Anything that can connect to something can be hacked.
Like we said, that's not the issue here.
No.
The issue here
is their response.
Their response is completely wrong, and just...
I love Tesla. They're also not invulnerable.
Yeah, no one's perfect.
No.
But instead of acknowledging that no one's perfect, and you got to get your act together and create an internal task force and publicly talk about the internal task force that you're creating to address this and keep an eye on it for the future. I don't remember how I started that sentence, so it's hard for me to finish it coherently. But the point is, that's the way to deal with it.
Yeah.
Not to just go, well, hey, you know, you guys, we don't condone you guys releasing this because now everyone's going to know about it. Yeah, including you. So fix it. That's how you do this. So yeah, the hackers had the usual sort of response is like, yeah, hey, this would be pretty good for a hacker. And you know they think they believe that releasing the portion of the code is important since it allows their peers to prove their work, and holds automakers accountable for their digital security. I mean, remember, guys, white hat is not about finding an exploit and then releasing it to a bunch of, you know, bad dudes before notifying the company who the code belongs to.
I promise you, they contacted that company first.
Exactly.
Tesla has a $10,000 bounty for any hacks, apparently. Just got told by our buddy TechBench TV. So they're actively trying to get people to submit stuff like this so that they can fix it. I didn't even know that. That's fantastic. Good job, Tesla. That's how you should respond to these things. You should try to welcome these guys with open arms and be like, yes, thank you for finding this.
Here is some money.
Here's some money.
Here's a big bag of money.
Maybe try to work with us on fixing it. Maybe not. I don't know. Whatever. Thank you. Here's money. Goodbye.
There could be more bags of money involved.
Or potentially a job even.
Yeah.
That's honestly a way that a lot of people get hired.
So this is really scary. U.S. Senator Markey, one of the leads on the new security legislation for the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and Federal Trade Commission, sent a letter to 20 automakers. So again, this underlines sort of my point about the automakers and how they approach technology, asking them a series of questions about security practices, the answers to which showed, quote, a clear lack of appropriate security measures to protect drivers against hackers who may be able to take control of a vehicle, unquote. Only 7 of 16 respondents said they hired independent security firms to test their vehicles' digital security, and only 2 said their vehicles had monitoring systems that checked their car internal networks for malicious digital commands. So the takeaway here is not that Chrysler and Jeep are dumb and their cars are bad and super hackable. That's not the point. The point is this is a huge attitude shift that needs to happen in the automotive industry, and right now is scary to the point where, like, I'm not much of a fearmongerer. I tend to mostly live my life without the tinfoil hat, but this could affect
automated things are scary, and this is why Elon and can't remember his name right now, dude in the wheelchair, super crazy smart, does research his time.
Stephen Hawking.
There we go, Stephen Hawking. Elon Musk and Stephen Hawking have both been pushing really hard to research the potential downsides and research stopping those potential downsides of AI and automation in general, and that's a very smart thing that should be doing, and we're not. It's like, I don't know. Some people, I've said this a few times, people gawk at me a little bit, but it's kind of like we're making the nuke again.
Right.
With automation and AI. And we're kind of not really worrying about the downsides too much again. And yeah, I hope we don't go that route.
All right, so I just dropped a straw poll on you guys. Does this news affect the way you'll shop for a tech-heavy car? Because I'm going to be honest, guys, like, it was actually Ed Edsel who told me about this initially. We were filming something out in the garage, and he's shopping for a car right now. And so immediately, like, the first thing I asked him is, does this affect the way... Oh, there's a Tesla outside.
That's not a Tesla.
Oh, wait, what? What are you talking about?
Isn't that a TLX?
I wouldn't know a TLX from a hole in the wall. I'm not a car guy. I thought that was why you were... I thought it was a Tesla.
No,
So
it's just that car has never been here before, and it's been here for the last little bit.
Oh, okay. Can I help you?
I think that's his.
Whose?
Ed's.
Oh, did he buy one?
I don't know.
He lied to me. Anyway.
It's been here consistently during work hours for the last little bit.
Oh, okay. Well, the point is...
I thought it might have been someone else's. I don't know.
Yeah, not a car guy at all. I can't believe I didn't even know that. They don't look that similar, do they?
I think it is.
Whatever. I don't care. Okay, the point is that Ed was shopping for a car, at least, and...
Might still be.
So what I said was, okay, well, does this news affect you buying a car that is more technology heavy? And I also pitched him that, you know, I have a lightly used 2003 Honda Civic that's manual everything, including...
Everyone in the chat is like, it's a spy, it's Logan.
Including a manual transmission. And I've got to say, for the first time ever, I felt like my mom, where she kind of has this innate distrust of social media and posting information on the internet, the stuff that my generation doesn't really think about the same way that hers does about technology. And I kind of went, yeah, I feel pretty good that there's no camera in my car, and there's no and like the brake pedal's connected to the brake pedal thing, the brake pedal thing connected to the disc thing's connected to the wheel thing, and the car just stops like that, no outside interference. I felt pretty good about that for the first time ever.
And one thing that's a little sketch too is something that I don't think any of the articles are talking about right now, which is the proof of things happening. If someone cuts your brake line in real life, your brake line's cut. Okay, pretty straightforward. If someone cuts your brakes digitally and then exits and there's no way to tell that they did that,
then all of a sudden you're liable for mowing down
there was a registered no press on the brake and there was a registered full press on the pedal and you ran over 100 people, you're screwed.
Yeah, you're criminally liable in that case.
It's like registering a key press.
So this is like some scary stuff. We've actually got 57% of you, and this is a tech-savvy audience, I think. 57% of you saying yes, this affects the way you'll shop for a tech-heavy car. With 22% of you saying turnip, and only 20% of you saying no, this won't affect the way you shop. Incredible, hey?
It would affect the way that I would shop. I wouldn't go with ones that were answering this way.
Yeah.
I'm not saying necessarily I would go with the Tesla because they're drastically way too expensive, but I would not go with any company that was answering in that matter.
In related news, Fiat issues a software patch after hackers take over that car. So there you go.
Speaking of it not being,
there's actually no evidence that the particular model that they were patching is affected in any way. But there you go. I mean, here's another thing where, like, again, the car maker's mentality is decades behind. You see so many things, whether it's your phone or your computer or your game console or even your TV. TVs traditionally move a lot slower than computers, but even they're caught up. Over-the-air firmware updates, over-the-air patching. Cars don't even have that. So if all of a sudden you have to install, security updates for your car every month.
Teslas do.
Teslas do, but no one's even thought of this. They were so far behind in their thought process that they built all this networking functionality in and literally didn't build in a way for users to just patch it by pressing a button. So yeah. Wow. And then this is also related. So Fiat is a sub-brand of Chrysler. Chrysler to recall 1.4 million vehicles after the remote hijack bug was found. It's a voluntary recall, which is related to the firmware thing that I was saying, because the voluntary recall is just a flash.
Such a weird thing to call it. It's voluntary for one, so a voluntary recall is just a little weird.
No, that's normal.
And then they're not even really recalling the car. You're just supposed to come in and get it patched.
Which means they recalled it. They're
like,
going to give it back to you.
Hey, you can come get a patch. I don't know.
Yeah. So they figure, yeah.
It's a software update. It's not a voluntary recall.
So affected cars include Dodge Vipers, Ram trucks, Jeep Cherokees, and Grand Cherokees, Dodge Durangos, Chrysler 200 and 300, Dodge Chargers, Dodge Challengers, and Chrysler owners can enter their VIN at a provided website to check if their vehicle is included in the recall.
Yeah, so someone in the chat, Nail Puppy, voluntary recall equals we are doing this because we were forced to.
Yeah. So
Our legal department was like, hey, you should probably do this. So we did.
This is great. So more stupidity. The company is unaware of any injuries related to software exploitation, nor is it aware of any related complaints, warranty claims, or accidents, independent of the media demonstration.
Someone in Twitch chat just reminded us we have to do sponsors.
Said a Chrysler spokesperson. Oh, thank you for that. Not clear. This is great. Issues will be discussed more deeply at next month's DEF CON. It's like, because you have a month to deal with these kinds of things.
You super don't, by the way.
Chrysler's statement. The software manipulation addressed by this recall required unique and extensive technical knowledge, prolonged physical access to a subject vehicle, and extended periods of time to write code. As if that's a barrier. At all. It's like they think that tech-savvy coders aren't everywhere.
That's really stupid.
And so another.
It was kind of hard. Great. So we didn't think we had to do anything about it.
Great quote from The Verge. It's not clear if the message about the importance of this was fully received, as Chrysler insists it's only taking this step out of an abundance of caution. I couldn't even... Abundance of caution! Now I'm just getting mad. I'm actually like I'm getting upset.
This is why, but this is what I'm talking about. This is why I wouldn't purchase from one of those companies if, like this is why I would definitely take this into consideration with purchasing a car.
It's like...
I wouldn't necessarily avoid purchasing a high-tech car. I would just purchase a high-tech car from someone who's probably going to give a crap about the car once I buy it from them.
It's like, why is the... Like, why did the American automotive industry just collapse? Because they've got their heads completely up their own butts. Still, this is the reaction to an opportunity for them to turn this into awesome PR. Like, hey, we've allocated this many millions of dollars to this bounty program and this. And, like, a quick reaction, not we'll discuss it in a month, because this patch is an overabundance of caution. Okay, well, I just got some good news. We're getting like a sick conference cam from Logitech for our boardroom at the new office. It's like an $800 webcam.
Nice.
Essentially, with like a bunch of connected features and like ball and microphone.
Hopefully
and,
it's good, because I've been to a fair amount of conference rooms and used a fair amount of those conference cams, and a lot of them are trash.
Logitech is so proud of this particular one that they've basically discontinued the entire rest of their webcam lineup. And they're just focusing on this one.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right, we'll try that.
So, right, sponsor spots. I should probably do that.
iFixit. I don't think we have
iFixit. Yeah,
the kit anymore.
I don't have one of the kits handy.
We needed it, which I guess is actually
Which is a good thing. So,
yeah.
What can we say about iFixit other than that they have great tutorials on their website? It's iFixit.com, and the site is pretty self-explanatory. It's so that you guys can ship your stuff to me and I'll fix it.
It's so that if you're talking in the first person, I can fix it.
Yes, like I can fix my own things. I'm not going to fix your stuff.
Like everyone in the audience can say, I can fix it.
And it's true, because the guides are great. The pictures are great. The instructions are great. And the tools that you need are available right on the same site. So that's iFixit's big push with us, is the ProTech Toolkit. But quite frankly, I've talked about the ProTech Toolkit enough that you guys should probably know it has most of what you will need to disassemble and reassemble things like tablets and smartphones and laptops, any kinds of kind of smaller electronics.
One of my favorite things about the ProTech Toolkit and iFixit in general is when you read one of their tutorials and they'll tell you what tools you need.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they've actually got where to buy links. Like, that's such a smart business model.
It is.
These guys are savvy guys. So, but they also have a whole bunch of other crap on their site that you can buy, like that magnetic sheet that I use whenever I'm disassembling smartphones and laptops that have a lot of different kinds of screws. I used it in my iMac disassembly. They've got stuff like the adhesive strips that you need to put stuff back together, because a lot of the time modern electronics are not assembled just with screws and snaps.
Glue and stuff.
A lot of it's glues and adhesives. So they'll sell, the suction cup things that you need to remove that. They'll sell the strips that you need to put back together and all that kind of stuff. So great guys. Save $10 with offer code WAN on an order of $50 or more, so you can get your own ProTech Toolkit today. And then this is a sponsor that you haven't heard from in a long time. Is it because we thought you guys needed a break? Maybe, because it was pretty much all we talked about at CES this year.
Screen protector out there.
Yep, so store.phantom.glass is the place to go if you want to get a screen protector for your phone that is easy to apply, basically impossible to get bubbles under, and just plain works really, really well. It's made of Gorilla Glass, so it's got that same feel, that same transparency as the screen that was already on your phone, not to mention that same scratch resistance. And it's super thin, except that you don't even have to worry about your phone at all. And they've actually got a lot of different options. I am really liking the iPhone 6 edge-to-edge. This one's cool because normally with a screen protector, whether it's Phantom or anyone else, the screen protector sits on the screen and then you'll have a ridge around it, no matter how thin your screen protector is. With the edge-to-edge one, it's actually a complete glass panel for the entire front of the phone, and then it's just colored in the same spots as the original one. So other than the fingerprint sensor home button being a little bit recessed, which I've got one of these on my iPhone 6 that I use intermittently all the time, making it a little bit harder to get my Touch ID to pick up sometimes. It just feels like holding my phone, exactly the way it was. So they support a whack ton of different phones and tablets and all this kind of good stuff, and you guys can check it out at store.phantom.glass if you're looking for a rockin' new screen protector. I think their pricing is lower than last time we looked at them as well. They're sitting in the
looks like
$35 to $40 Canadian range.
Wow. I think that's significantly lower.
Yeah. So there you go, guys. Store.phantom.glass, as good as ever. So yeah. Well, yeah. So we want to move on to yet another massive topic for this week.
Just insane.
So this one, original article. He actually, I forget which article I read on it originally, but here's one from the Register. This one is just kind of based on a quote from John MacAfee. The Ashley Madison hack may destabilize society. So if you guys didn't hear about this earlier in the week, there were 37 million some odd people plus that had a pretty stressful morning on Monday this week.
I wonder if anyone was like paying really close attention to their spouse to see if they were like hyper stressed out.
I don't know, man. You know, if I suspected already or something like that, I would be following this whole thing pretty darn closely. So for those of you who are not familiar with Ashley Madison, it's a site that is all about, well, okay, I guess I'll open with their tagline. Life's short, have an affair. So the site is a dating site for married people. And not for married people with each other. For married people with other more different married people.
To be fair, there's some people on the site that are in poly or open relationships, but I think that's not the majority of it. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure that people don't freak out in Twitch chat and go like, well, some relationships, they're okay with it. Yeah, we realize that. I just think the majority of them are not.
So basically, the hackers submitted a demand list that was pretty much, look, you need to shut down this site. Shut down, I forget what their other sites are called. They're not as famous, they're not as common, but shut down your other sites, or we are going to release. They had not only the user database of the current active users, but Ashley Madison had a service for I think $18 or $19 that supposedly wiped all of your information from everywhere. They still had it. So the hack retrieved that information as well. So the hacker's demand is actually looking like it could cost less for the Toronto-based company than the lawsuits that could result in. I mean, can you even imagine the liability that you're on the hook for if you arguably caused a divorce, which could arguably, in the case of, you know, if people are millionaires or multimillionaires, cost millions upon millions of dollars.
I can't find the dollar count.
I'm sorry?
Other websites that they owned were Cougar Life and Established Men. There's other websites as well, but I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, those were the ones that they demanded that they shut down. So this is good. I mean, there's articles all over the place. So to be clear, I haven't been following it all week, unfortunately. I really wish I had, and I really wish that I sort of had checked on it before this again. So the 37 million users are worldwide. I think they operate in something like 40 countries.
And apparently it's if you combine all three of those websites, the ones that I just named, it's 50 million people, not 37. 37 is just Ashley Madison.
So, but the other ones aren't quite as targeted towards. Well, I guess established men in a lot of cases probably would be. Although I don't think it's specifically targeted at having an affair in the same case. Anyway, the hackers didn't immediately release all the information, but what they're saying is that they're going to keep pushing it out as the site stays online. So, of course, there's all kinds of... So people are getting outed already. So this is an outed Ashley Madison user talking to the Toronto Sun. So he may be the unluckiest cheater of all time. So just 2 were outed on an infidelity blog after a hacker group calling itself... Oops, hold on a second. Dang nabbit.
2 people?
Hold on. Yeah, well, they didn't go full force right away.
So they leaked 2 people.
So they blah blah blah. They threatened. And there's a lot of other stuff stored in the accounts as well. And the scariest thing about this is that it's validated by credit card number. Like your credit card number's in there, so you can't just be like, someone else signed up with my account.
Oh my god.
No, it's like a huge deal. And like they apparently have people like documentation of people's sexual fantasies and stuff like that. Like this is a huge deal. So so there's a couple guys here. In an exclusive interview, the Mississauga man said he looked but never cheated. He says, sometimes you're just curious, looking for friends, then it doesn't necessarily appeal to you, he said,
looking for friends.
He said he's been a husband for 20 years. He works in the city, has a young child. He was clearly shocked and looked panicked while talking about the impact the release of his name has had on his life. Oh, yeah. So he denied that he wrote anything about liking to give and receive oral sex, liking light kinky fun, erotic tickling, and role playing. He said he joined the site in 2010 and stayed on for 2 to 3 years, then used the website's paid delete option to have his profile removed for $19. He says, I haven't been on the site in a long time, adding that he never expected something like a security breach to occur.
Especially after you pay for a paid delete.
So there you go.
So they had a paid delete option that literally just didn't do anything.
Pretty much. And then here's a super scary thing. Did you know that Ashley Madison is actually the second largest dating site behind Match.com? So there's just a horrifying number for people who believe in the sanctity of marriage and all of that. Yikes, eh? So there's some great quotes from John MacAfee, former security wear maker. You might have heard his name once in a while.
He hasn't been a part of MacAfee for a really long time.
So this is a great quote. He says, this hack threatens to destabilize society. Oh yeah, and I hacked it again myself. It was easy peasy. So since Ashley Madison said that they have, they're addressing it, he has apparently been back in, but I don't know if that's necessarily true. So he figures it was definitely the work of an individual acting alone, because whether he's saying because of the motive behind something like this, or whether he's saying because of the ease, because said he was able to breach the site again himself. He also said that it was one of the... Sorry, excuse me. So the pronouncement follows his earlier judgment that May's adult friend finder hack was one of the scariest hacks since the existence of computers. Wow, this is just...
These are because there's so much personal information on those sites. And so much personal information that, people really don't want people knowing. I think people aren't scared enough about losing money, because a lot of times if, your credit card gets hacked or something, you can get reimbursed. This isn't a situation where you can be reimbursed. If this is released, you don't just change your credit card number. Everything intimate about you is now known publicly.
So yeah, I don't know, man. If they release the whole list, it's one of those things.
Am I evil for kind of wanting it to happen?
Yeah, I think so, because...
Why?
Hold on a second.
It would be so much fun to watch the world burn for a little while.
I saw a lot... Well, is it... Okay, hold on, because I saw a lot of...
It's fun to watch
I saw a lot of people say, well, they deserve it, filthy cheaters.
I'm not necessarily saying they deserve it. They might.
And you know what?
I just didn't say either way.
You could say karma's a bitch. You could say that. But the reality of it is, this impacts potentially an additional 37 million people who might be living perfectly happy lives. And is ignorance bliss? I don't know. Maybe. And
I disagree.
I would say, hold on. I'll let you. I'm sure you're gonna have a lot to say about this. And I would also make the argument that no illegal theft of someone else's personal information is justifiable.
Yes.
So all that karma's a bitch stuff aside, you shouldn't, you cannot steal other people's information. It's not right. Two wrongs do not make a right in this case. So that's my bottom line.
I don't think releasing the information would necessarily be the right thing to do, because there's also a lot of problems with, like, where it said that guy's information was released in 2010. I wouldn't be surprised if they're not going to be too caring about join dates on the database that they release, and people might just be looking for names. So maybe you're in a new relationship and this is an old thing, or
maybe you're reformed.
Maybe, I know there's the credit card sign-up thing, but maybe your buddy pranked you.
But then, if he pranked you, then, like, why wasn't the prank revealed? Who pranks their buddy by creating, you know,
Well, it might have been, but then maybe he didn't bother to tell his wife because he's like, oh, that was just dumb. There's ways that you could come across one of these accounts.
That's
at the same
true.
time, kind of want to watch the world burn. Don't necessarily know if it's a good idea. Just kind of would want to watch the world burn a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I am so very thankful that I have nothing to worry about here, and I don't envy anyone who woke up Monday morning who has an Ashley Madison account. That is like, can you imagine the amount of sick to your stomach? Because the thing is that unless you're one of the couple unlucky people that they're leaking, you know, and that they're trickling out, there is still potential, and I don't think it's going to happen, for Ashley Madison to just cease operations and for the rest of the names to get buried down an internet hole somewhere, so to speak.
They could also wait for them to cease operations and, like, move everyone on and not have employees anymore, and then just be like, database dump.
Let's do this. Let's play a game.
Okay. This sounds really fun.
You have an Ashley Madison account. You're
Sure.
married. We're going to role play a little bit here.
Wow. All right. What are your other fantasies?
Some of them involve Smurfs.
Oh, wow. We have some blue body paint. Let's do this. Anyways.
So let's talk. You hear about the Ashley Madison hack Monday morning.
Yep.
And I'm gonna give you a full scenario, okay? You have been using ashleymadison.com actively to cheat on your wife. I'm gonna give you two scenarios. You've been using it actively currently, okay? So you like cheated on her last week.
Okay.
You've been using Ashley
I feel
Madison
like a terrible
currently.
person.
Tell me how you react on Monday morning. What's your damage control?
I don't know if I want to give people good ideas or not.
Knowing what you know about hackers, what's your damage control?
It's not even knowing what you know about hackers, because this has nothing to do with that. They have it. They're done.
Yeah, but a lot of lay people wouldn't necessarily know that means it's basically game over. That it will end up somewhere and it will get leaked somewhere. It's just happening all over again.
Yes.
So
they might not release it.
They might not.
There's still potential that it actually won't get.
If it is one person, let's say it's a scorned lover, right?
Yeah. It probably is.
I
think that's what the MacAfee guy's saying, and it probably is.
Because
he's targeting those specific websites.
Yes.
Yeah.
The ones that are all about being married already. Yeah. So, what's your action plan?
I'm a terrible person. I just want to put that out there first and foremost. You have to try to act like you did on every other day. If you buy your wife flowers all of a sudden and start freaking out, she's going to read this article. She's going to be like, oh, I wonder why he's being so nice, blah, 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 blah. It's so wonderful. Flowers showed up at work. Oh, what's this news article? I don't know why this is my married woman voice, but whatever.
You're married to a pretty old woman.
Yes, apparently. But yeah, so I don't know. Either you go the route of just hidey hole and just act like
no. What do you do? You don't get to hedge your bets here.
But I don't cheat.
What's your action plan though?
I don't know.
Let's say you did.
But I have to assume I'm a completely different person.
Yeah,
if I assumed I was a completely different person, so I was already going the route of cheating this whole time.
Yeah.
There's no real point in revealing yourself at that point.
Okay.
Because it's not going to be any better than just having it leaked later on.
Right.
So I guess you just hedge your bets and keep going.
I go completely the opposite route.
You just reveal immediately.
Yeah. I come clean. Because,
but then I'm not going... Yeah, I don't know.
Because if it comes from you, even if there was external pressure, I think you have a better chance to salvage the situation.
Right. But I guess this is where my mind changes a little bit, because in my head, if that's going to happen from either person, you should probably just end it anyways.
What if it's not that simple? What if I throw a kid into your scenario? Sometimes life's not simple.
I don't want kids.
I know, but you don't...
I'm putting myself in a very weird situation. I'm, like, would never do that, not interested in doing that, plus don't want kids. So I have to, like, change two very fundamental things
that's
about
fine,
myself.
that's fine. It's part of role-playing. You know, you want to be a good partner here, okay? Role-playing partner?
If you have kids, I guess the conversation should have to happen. But then you also have to worry about if that's going to completely fundamentally change your relationship with your partner and then creates a toxic environment for the kid, it might actually be easier for you and the kid to split up.
I don't know. As a broken home survivor, I can say that both of them have their own challenges. And the toxic relationship between the parents can certainly continue just fine if they're not living in...
No, I would fully expect it to continue. Yeah. But if you don't have to be in the house with them screaming and fighting every day, is that better? Because you might grow up and learn normalcy. You might think that this is how this is actually supposed to happen, all that kind of stuff. So we've got 47% of you going with the Eat Turnips action plan. With 34% of you playing it cool and hoping it goes away, and a mere 19% of you going my route and revealing it right away. Very interesting. I mean, this is all just sort of... The interesting thing that I think here is the credit card validation, because I would fully expect a ton of people to sign up on this website with a fake name.
Yep.
Like, everyone. And if you didn't, you're dumb.
Yep.
But
that's the ace up the hacker's
If someone Control F's for that credit card number, wow.
Yep.
Yikes. I hope you changed your credit card, or I hope you're doing it now. I don't know.
My life is easy. I don't even have the option to cheat on my wife.
You wouldn't have time.
Yeah.
You straight up wouldn't have time.
There's the time. There's the fact that she manages my schedule down to the minute.
yeah. There's that. She manages all the finances and credit cards anyway, so she'd see that payment coming out. She'd be like, wait, what is this from?
And it's
and
not...
then Google it and then figure it out.
It's not because of, like, of a suspicion on her part, because she straight up knows where I am. Like, she wouldn't even need a GPS tracker on my phone. She knows exactly where I am any time of the day because my life is just really busy.
I usually know where you are.
Yeah. I'm a creature of habit. It's like, it's Friday night. He's at badminton. Straight up. It's any other time. He's at work or at home. That's it. But like, and it's not because she monitors the finances because she suspects anything.
So she's good at it.
Because she monitors the finances because I am terrible at managing my finances.
And she's really good, to be fair. We can't just give you the terrible, she's also very good at it.
Yeah, and like she manages the finances not just of us personally, but also Linus Media Group. So if an unknown charge shows up, she's emailing me about it, not because she thinks it's for, some adult dating site, but because she just wants to know what it is so she can reconcile the books. So yeah.
Oh my god.
That makes my life really easy.
Wouldn't that be a fun Channel Super Fun prank? Oh, yes. Linus left his wallet on his desk.
She doesn't watch WAN show. We should do it.
Oh my god! I'm so down.
That would be hilarious.
That's so evil. Oh god.
We're kind of terrible people.
Oh,
like in every possible way.
We'd have to capture the reaction though. How do you do that?
I think we could do it. I think we've got enough clever camera people that we could count on them to yeah. That could be pretty fun.
Just so long as you're the one that scrubs the footage.
Scrubs the footage?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like I go through the reaction. Yeah. Well, you know what? No, I know her pretty well. Like I think that it would be. Oh gee, I don't know. Yeah. Let's give it a definite maybe.
Okay. Starting to think about the downsides now. All right. Yeah. Okay.
Wow, we actually had a lot of like pretty good topics this week.
In the partially done.
Yeah,
I think we can do a lot of these.
Yeah, well, it's 6:00 already, and I've got some stuff to do after work today. So,
okay then.
Apple stops beta testers from reviewing apps. That's a really good thing, because if you're beta testing a new version of iOS, you shouldn't be leaving reviews on apps about how they crash and are terrible.
Yep.
I'm
super not against that.
Oh, there's some interesting... You know what? Some of the stuff we might just have to tackle next week, because YouTube's apparently going to remove free videos if creators don't publish them to the subscription-based platform too. So there's some actually really good stuff in here, but I think we're done for today. Thank you guys for tuning into the WAN show. I apologize if things got a little bit heavier and less lighthearted than they normally do with the whole Ashley Madison hack thing.
If you're married and you have an Ashley Madison account,
sorry, bro. Or broette.
Good luck, buddy guy.
What's the female version of bro? It's not sis.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Must be broette.
I just say bro. But is
Me too.
Is that me being a jerk?
I don't care if I'm talking to a man or a woman. I'll just be like, yeah, no problem, man.
Yes.
It's not.
And guys.
Yeah. I mean, who's ever actually?
I feel like I sound sleazy when I say ladies.
Oh, ladies.
Right? I feel like I'm trying to project or come onto them, so I just say guys, and then it seems fine.
Oh, ladies. And you can't say women, because that has the whole
Right? There's negative connotations to all of them.
Yeah, because it's
woman. Someone tell me how to navigate life, please.
Yeah, really.
It would make my life easier.
I need a GPS in my car for navigating life. Hack your life. All right, see you guys again next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.